And now for something completely different.
Welcome to the only podcast to have a second season. And in honor of that, we've decided to go over all the possible and rejected intros to the. Some of these may have been used before. Here we go. Hello, liberal PC. Hello, fellow Taliban. Hello, Sigma Gayers. Hello, Sigma Gayers. Hello, Hello, FIBA. Hello, QAnon fanbase. Hello, Christian cannibals. Hello, Garfield gunk. Hello, dehydrated doohickeys. Hello, dictatorial demo. Hello, my fellow brothers and sisters in pasta. Hello, fellow demo rats. Hello, rodent. Ballistic bangs. Welcome to the only podcast to shut down the U.S. government, to find real Putin X Trump tapes, to eat spaghettis and kick meatball men, to lose 2 members to the FBI raid before our very first episode, where Bush did 9/11, on an FBI watch list, on the CIA observation list. Please help us. And for the record, Cash is gay. Anyways, the students from colleges all around the U.S. are realizing the U.S. government's stance regarding the Israel-Hamas-Palestinian war, and they're having none of it. The protests started at Columbia University and have since spread from New York to California. Apparently, Joe supports free speech in the protests which are against his handling, by the way, but that doesn't try to stop the police and state troopers from trying to disperse protesters at the University of Texas. Hundreds of students have been arrested and many colleges have shut down. Students are setting up tents during the protests. USC and UT Austin students have almost started rioting, with police getting into small fights with students in protests. The police are all armed with firearms and nightsticks and are beating students, tearing down tents, and detaining protesters. This always happens when there's a war. Remember the Chicago 7? They were a group leading the Vietnam protests in 1969, which developed into riots. They were tried and accused of crossing state lines to start riots. Anyway, back to the current riots. There have been also reports of Islamophobia and anti-Semitism during the protests. Certain Republican politicians are calling for the disbanding of protesters because of that, but many students feel like the violence they're being met with is too much. Students who faced arrest and suspension feel like they're the ones who need protection, and many feel like they can't show their faces. The students are against Israel but backing Palestine. It's hard in this war for the public to pick sides. There's no clear good or bad side, unlike Russia and Ukraine. When the West set up perfectly functioning dictatorships, some of which made sense, they really didn't expect all this drama. But with this war, there's no clear sides. The USA is bombing Gaza and feeding them. Hamas is a Palestine-based military faction that governs part of the Israel-occupied Gaza Strip. On the 13th, Iran fired hundreds of missiles at Israel, but almost no damage was done. Israel, US, and Jordan shot down 99% of the drones and missiles. After that, Iran stated it deemed the matter concluded. Meanwhile, Israel has vowed to respond. So, Iran fired some missiles, but they're all good, and now Israel is angry? What are the teams in these wars? We're helping Iraq fight Iran, then we're invading Iraq, then we're helping Iran fight ISIS, then we're using ISIS to fight people backed by Iran, and now we're supplying weapons to Israel and feeding Palestinians? We're bombing them and feeding them. You think we could have managed better? I mean, we have trouble keeping track of our own wars. How are we expected to keep track of this one? What do you mean, like, keeping track of our own wars? Well, like, people get confused about, like, say, the American Civil War, which involved America. As our illustrious historian and former President Donald Trump knows all too well. On the matter of Donald Trump, let's talk about his court trial. Is this a January 6th trial? No. Is this the tax fraud trial? No. Is this the Mar-a-Lago classified documents trial? No. Are there the federal indictments? No. Then what is it? It's the porn star hush money forged documents trial. Also known as the trial during which the defendant, Donald Trump, keeps falling asleep and farting. Wait, really? Imagine committing so many crimes that you're tired of hearing about them, and you fall asleep. So just to clarify, this is the trial where Donald Trump supposedly slept with a porn star, paid her hush money, and allegedly falsified business documents to cover it up, which could be considered as an unregistered campaign expense. Oh, that's it? This trial is so entertaining. It says here that the first witness is a man named David Pecker, who's the publisher of National Enquirer. You've got publisher Pecker, a former president who can't stay awake, a porn star, threats against the jury and the judge's family, 10 gag order violations, the second Republican coming of Christ, and the torture that Donald Trump has to go through. See, this is what America needs. Apparently, publisher Pecker picked a pack of Trump's Pecker pics to hide from the public. Publisher Pecker picked a pack of Pecker pics. So, publisher Pecker testified that he would buy harmful or revealing stories about Trump and would then bury him in a practice known as catch and kill. He said he was doing this purely to help Trump's campaign chances, but he stopped when Trump's lawyer contacted him about the Stormy Daniels hush money and he was worried about breaking the law. So, more updates about Trump's weird mushroom penis on the way. Anyway, that concludes this episode. So, we're going to have another break. Well, we work on the 14th season. I know we've produced a lot, but 14th season. Bye. Also, last word, we totally killed the UN. Hey, what's up with us on the number 14?